Ana Puig came to America legally from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. She describes herself as a concerned, naturalized American citizen. She speaks at rallies, she writes on political subjects, and she appears on major news networks as a spokesperson for conservatism from the viewpoint of a successful legal immigrant. She was educated in marketing and international business at Baylor University, and she is a senior marketing analyst as well as a stay-at-home mother of 4 children. She has had the opportunity to speak at various venues about her experiences in Latin America, correlating them to what is happening in the United States today. And here she is.
Thank you so much. Hello, Lancaster. It's such a pleasure to be here today to share with you my own life experiences and how it relates to what's happening in the United States under this administration. I would like to start out by thanking America for the undiscriminating opportunities that this wonderful country has given me and my family throughout my 20-plus years here. Unlike our president, I am not here to apologize for America. I don't find any horrors in being an American citizen. Quite the contrary, I'm so proud to have fought to become an American citizen. Before I go on, I want to share with you a little bit about my background. Sorry about that. I was born and raised in Brazil and came to this country back in 1986 at the age of 14 to live with my uncle, a visiting professor at West Point, and his family. My life in America couldn't have started in a better place than the home of the long gray line, the home of heroes and true believers in duty, honor, country. While there, I met my husband, who was, at the time he was a young cadet, son of 2 Cuban parents, refugees of the horrors of the communist regime imposed on their homeland by the Castro brothers, Che Guevara, and many other bloody assassins. 2 years later, I joined my parents and brother in California. We came here legally to be a part of the American dream, and that's life, liberty, opportunity, and the pursuit of happiness. Unlike others, I did not come here to take advantage of the system. I came here to be a part of the American system. Times were tough for us in the beginning, as my father lost his job almost immediately after we arrived. But through no government handouts and through a lot of hard work, my dad today is on the verge of retirement. And I feel like I've done quite well for myself as well. So capitalism does work, folks. So my message here to you is that we need to save this country. My family and I, we have lived the American dream, and we want to be able to pass this dream on to our children and grandchildren. But let's go on and talk about what is at stake here today. Let's talk about what we must know and do in order to avoid the traps laid down by our enemies. The economy has been and will continue to be one of the most prominent issues in our minds during these post-election months. If you think the economy is bad now, you ain't seen nothing yet. Just wait until Obama's done with cap and trade, nationalized healthcare system, amnesty, and the list goes on. Even billionaire liberal George Soros has warned us that fears of, and I quote him, fears of inflation would drive up borrowing costs and choke off growth once financial markets recover. First Buffett, now George Soros, hammering the economy. Even the Chinese are voicing their concern for the American economy. If the media would do its job, statements like these wouldn't actually leave a mark. Folks, we're talking about 1929 times 10. I've seen this in Latin America. It's coming our way. As I stop to look around and take in all that is happening to us, I realize that this moral crisis is the same one that was gradually implemented in my home country through a strong and well planned Marxist program that involved the most important sectors of our society: education, media communication, entertainment, and religion. These days, I find myself astonished as I realize the direct correlation between what is happening in the United States and what has happened in Brazil and Latin America, the implementation of 21st century Marxism. In other words, a camouflage statement for communism. You know, I used to call it communism, but people started telling me to my face, people on our side, that I was sounding scary. So I decided to create this little statement, 21st century Marxism, because that's what it is. It's the same thing. The model for implementation of 21st century Marxism is quite simple. A liberal or progressive candidate is introduced to the masses as the messiah that is going to fix all problems imposed to them by evil capitalists. This candidate has a political platform with plenty of social changes that will fix the inequality between those who work hard and file their taxes and those who have nothing because of the rich. Where I come from, this is called redistribution of wealth. He has the undivided attention from the media and the entertainment industry to preach his social programs to the masses. The election process itself is corrupted as much as possible until the first Marxist is elected. Look at how much Acorn has done to ensure Obama's election. So there is a direct correlation to what I'm saying here. Upon taking office, social programs are immediately implemented, benefiting those who helped get him elected. Has anybody here noticed that the budget for AmeriCorps, our own civilian army, has doubled lately? Meanwhile, the tax-paying class bears the bill and struggles to keep its standards of living. What we fail to realize is that the campaign is not over, even though the election is over. And this is where we're at today, so pay close attention to what I'm about to tell you. An extremely clever and massive psychological process of self-exposure is needed in order to demonize any and all possible opposition. The same media machine available during the election now provides unaccountable hours on primetime TV and square inches on the printed media, assuring the necessary exposure. Our tax dollars, along with his presidential status, will allow him to crisscross the world and the nation so that he can market himself personally. At the same time, the image of a messiah is imposed onto the minds of our children at our own schools, assuring worship from future generations. Look at what happened this week in New Jersey. The false image of a universally approved dear leader is created, making the opposition voices sound completely out of context. A majority-controlled Congress passes necessary constitutional changes needed to increase the number of terms as well as minimize the possibility of the buildup of a strong opposition. We're not there yet, but that would be the next step. The democratic way to keep the Messiah and his Marxist agenda in power is now accomplished. However, if their agenda creates a socio-economic environment bad enough even to their own believers, opposition will try to democratically reverse the situation by defeating the Messiah and or his designated successors. That is when they unilaterally call for the end of democracy and announce the start of a new era of government for the people. And that is what has happened in Cuba, and that is what has happened in Venezuela under Hugo Chavez, and many other countries in Latin America, which are too many for me to list today. If this model doesn't resemble to you the path we're on in our country today, I'm not sure what does.